Here's the daily price chart for advanced micro devices, stock ticker AMD. Here we can see some very interesting price movements in the RYZEN CPU manufacturer. In prior analysis videos, I have posted some price projections here, and I've left them in place so that we can see exactly how these predictions and projections actually played out. Previously, we were caught in this sideways trading range here, where share prices themselves were essentially kind of caught oscillating around the exponential moving average cluster, as we can see here. Prices kind of break a bit below, but then a bit above, and then a bit back below, and then we're ultimately caught within this sideways trading range that is roughly defined by, I would say, 174.60 to the top side, and then roughly 140.90 to the bottom. We initially, what we saw in the prior video here would have been this moving average breakout here that we saw to the top side. And it was important because what we actually saw here was not only a share price break to the top side, but we also saw some interesting activity here in the moving averages themselves. The reason that I was making an upside price projection here was largely due to the fact that share prices were moving higher above the moving average cluster, and the moving average cluster itself was sort of tightening with the shorter term moving averages breaking above the longer term moving averages. So we can just kind of briefly explain that here. Here we can see that the yellow line is the 20-day exponential moving average, orange line is 50-day, and the purple line is the 100-day exponential moving average. This blue line down here then would be the 200-day exponential moving average. And this is the daily chart. So this type of price action is very important to watch because the daily moving averages are the most closely watched moving averages in the entire market for any asset. That would be true for no. It wouldn't matter what type of asset you're trading. These are the most commonly watched moving averages. So here we can see that we saw a couple of important price breakouts. In addition to the fact that the 20-period EMA is kind of forcefully crossing above the 100-day EMA and the 50-day EMA, and pointing in the upward direction. So we take this into consideration along with the price breakouts themselves, and the fact that we had a rising momentum indicator showing in the daily relative strength index. That would be this purple line down here. All these factors together led me to believe that we would probably start to see an upside price movement here in share prices, and ultimately a breakout of this sideways trading range. This sideways trading range had gone on for quite a while. Those types of conditions cannot, they cannot last forever. We do need to see a breakout eventually. So I thought that the balance of the evidence here did favor the top side, and as we can see, advanced micro devices did ultimately break in that direction. This is also a bit interesting, and possibly even a bit unpredictable for many people in the market because we've seen a large amount of selling pressure into the end of last week. Particularly on Thursday, we did see a tremendous amount of selling pressure that was placed on the Mag 7 stocks, which obviously are are technology stocks really. And this really dragged down the market as a whole. The S&P 500 was trading lower. The NASDAQ was trading lower. There was a lot of selling pressure in the Dow as well. NVIDIA was selling off. Apple was selling off. Tesla was selling off. Meta Platforms was selling off. There was a large amount of selling pressure and it was widespread in the market. This was not directed at one or two stocks. But even as that was happening, AMD really held up here very well. I mean, AMD really did an excellent job of sort of maintaining its current trend action. And we ultimately saw a break higher here, even as most of the market was really collapsing. I mean, you should take a look at my video on Meta Platforms to see an example of a stock that really just completely collapsed and has not really recovered. We are not seeing that in AMD. It's a very different scenario here. So, in my view, what I think we're starting to see here is a fairly broad divergence within the tech space. I don't think the tech stocks are kind of all trading in lockstep with each other in the way that they normally do. Usually, if you see a strong day for technology stocks, Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, if you're seeing these stocks rally higher, you're probably seeing most of the technology space rallying higher as well. But I think that what we're going to start to see here this summer, I think we're going to start to see some diverging paths here. I think we're going to start to see some stocks doing better than others. And I think we'll see many days where a stock, one major technology stock is doing well and the other is maybe not following in that same direction. So I think that's what we're starting to see here. I mean, Advanced Micro Devices really did manage to buck the trend, and see some fairly attractive gains here, even though the rest of the market was selling off quite substantially. So as things currently stand, share prices have really kind of formed a base here, um, at roughly 153.60. And this would really be the level that I would be watching now to the downside. If we do cross back below this level, I mean, I think at the very least, what we would have to expect would be kind of a re-entrance into this sideways trading range once again. Possibly we would be able to find support at this 200-day exponential moving average, this blue line here. But that would be a bearish signal here if we were to lose support in this area. um, you know so that would really be the level that I would start watching to the downside. To the top side, we do have a fair ways to go here before we do reach these all-time highs here at 227.30. This would be the high that was posted on the 8th of March. And currently we're trading just above 181. So there is a fair amount of distance here and a fair amount of room to the top side that could be seen. I mean, there really isn't much to be seen here in the way of historical resistance levels. The best we can really come up with here would be the 187.24 highs that were posted on April 1st. We're really pressuring these. I mean, we have not seen a daily close above this level. We did have a breach here. There is a high of 187.28 that did post on July 10th. But we haven't really seen a close above this level. So calling that a true breakout, it's a bit much. Like I wouldn't really go that far here. I would really like to see a daily close above this level before really calling it a breakout. So I would like to know what everybody thinks here. Do you expect AMD to start outperforming the rest of the technology space? Do you think that the stock will be able to maintain these highs here? Or do you think that we're likely to retrace back to these 153.60 levels that would be currently marked as support? Here's the current market analysis for Advanced Micro Devices Incorporated, stock ticker AMD.